All right, so today we're going to be talking about cards that have started to go down in price, and you might want to get rid of them as soon as possible so you can also get as much value for them as possible. So, like the video if you enjoy it, and share your thoughts in the comments. Please let me know which cards you think people should be offloading so they can have some ideas from the comment section down below. So, the first one is going to be a little bit weird, but hear me out. Yesterday, we were talking with some friends, and we were like, if you don't really want to spend this huge additional amount of money, just get rid of the Wanted engine. Because if you check the market, for example, the price of Wanted went down for about $10. And this really has to do with the fact that people just keep listing this engine knowing that they're not going to be spending for Bonfire, Populous, and Promethean Princess as well. So if you spent about $80 to $85 for the Wanted and about $20 or $25 for the Witches, right now you can offload those Wanteds for about $110. So there's profit there, and the Witches are going for about $40 right now. So if you really don't vibe with any kind of fire deck moving forward, I would just get rid of all of that. Just look into some other decks. There's literally Kashtira, Voiceless Voice, Pearly, Monodium, Labyrinth. Like, a lot of options are out there. You don't need to play the fire deck if you really don't want to and if you don't want to spend an additional amount of money. So that would be my first idea for today. You can get rid of the Wanted engine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I guess on topic of the fire decks, let's check out Hydrant. So Hydrant went down to about $10, and it was about 30 or something like that, like in the prime of its existence pretty much. But now with the Maze of Millennia reprint, obviously, the price is going to go down. And we're not even going to talk about Turbulence because it's literally like $2 or something. So if you still have some hydrants lying around and you just want to, I guess, trade them for a super rare and get some money while you're at it, I would definitely get rid of all the hydrants. And over here, it's also going for about €9. So it's very, very similar. Now, moving on to the next thing, Raid Sot is one of those field spells that's getting a reprint in the Anniversary collection, but it's still retaining a decent value. So right now it's about €37 over here. Maybe this goes more for, everyone in Europe, because on the other market, it's around $20. However, over here, prices haven't really shifted yet. So I would get on that as soon as possible, because the nearer we are to the reprint, obviously the price is going to go down in tandem with that. So I would get rid of all of that, and you can just, if you have additional copies, of course, or if you don't really feel like playing Kashtira next format. I think it's not going to be a bad deck. A lot of people are probably going to pick it up, but you can still play something else. Or if you have additional copies, of course, get rid of those, and then you can pick them up later when the price goes down as we near the reprint. And I guess on a similar note, I also want to talk about access code. It's around, let's see, €30 over here and also $28. So very, very similar prices. And there are multiple printings of access code out there. But again, when we are near the reprint, the price is going to go down significantly. So just get rid of access code right now if you don't run it in any particular deck. I think it's really nice in fire decks, but if you're not running that, I think you should be fine. There's a lot of different cards you can play in the extra deck right now. I don't think access code is mandatory per se, so I would look into, getting rid of the access code talkers. Now, this next card is going to be Thrust. Look, I know it just came out and it is short printed, so the price is not going to change that much. However, if you compare the Maze of Millennia print with the old print, they're only a couple euros or dollars or whatever apart. So you can still get rid of your old copies of Thrust if you still can. And once more copies from Maze of Millennia hit the market, the price is going to go down. There's also the fact that it's not that amazing right now. Like, I see some people running Talents, but that's pretty much it. I wouldn't say Thrust is really insane currently. And you can wait a bit if you offload them now and then get some copies later. It's not a bad card to own as a staple, but that's pretty much it. So I would look into selling my Thrusts. And as for the last card, I actually wanted to talk about the Exo Sisters Magnifica. I was reminded of the price of this card literally a couple days ago, and I was like, wow, this card is still expensive. Obviously, when you give reprints to all of the cards, and not to one of them in the archetype, that's going to happen. We have always seen this happen. I remember one of the examples was Ignis from the Draco archetype. Like, it just went up so quickly for so much because everything received reprints except for that. And it's very similar with Magnifica. It is literally around $20 or 19 euros over here. So again, very similar. But I also want to talk about this card because the deck is not bad. It's a shifter deck, which are going to be really, really popular and good moving forward. But if you're not running that type of deck, I would definitely offload all the copies while I still can, because we also need to keep in mind that, you know, the Rarity Collection is going to be a huge reprint set. They might reprint some cards in there, and there's other reprint sets coming our way. So if randomly we get the news of Magnifica getting a reprint, the price is going to plummet, definitely. So I would get rid of them right now while you still can, while the price is still fairly high, especially if you have multiple copies. So yeah, you know, those would be the cards for today's video. Hopefully I gave you some ideas. Maybe you have some of them in your binders. Share your thoughts in the comments down below, and like the video if you enjoyed it, of course, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.